Hi students, today we are going to discuss how the things are transported in plants, transportation in plants. In previous class we have learned that how the necessary things for the photosynthesis can be obtained by the plants. The raw materials are obtained from the surrounding of the plant: water, minerals from the soil, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and sunlight, and then the chlorophyll. Materials from the soil can be very easily absorbed by the parts of the plant which are in contact with the soil, and simple process of diffusion can be absorb these minerals and water from the soil to the plants. But when the size of the plant body is large, then the simple diffusion process won't be sufficient to absorb the materials from the soil or from the surrounding of the plants. Then they require another method or some other techniques to absorb the materials for their necessary energy requirements. The requirement of energy different for different plants. Plants do not move. Large proportion of the cells present in many tissues are dead cells, so they don't require energy. So the energy requirement for the plants are less when we compare to the animals. So therefore the transportation of material also is very slow in plants. However, the distances over which the plants transport the things or the materials is very large. Two types of materials are transferred in plants: the minerals and other essential components from the soil to the parts of the plants, and the energy stored, which is synthesized after the process of photosynthesis, then carried to the various parts of the body. And these two transportation carried out by two different systems. In general, the transportation in plants carried out by two types of tissues: xylem tissues and phloem tissues. Xylem tissues transport water and minerals from the soil to the different parts of the body, and phloem tissues, they transport the synthesized food from the leaves to the other parts of the body. Now let us see how does the transportation process take place in plants. First, you know that the plant body which is in contact with the soil take up a lot of ions, and this difference in the concentration of iron in plant cell and its surrounding makes a flow of the water from the surrounding to the plant cell in order to maintain the concentration or in order to balance the concentration. That means the water from the surrounding steadily transferred to the cells which are close to the soil. That means a steady water column is formed inside the cell, and then this water column is pushed in upward, or it is pushed into upward direction, and this makes a steady movement of water to the root xylem and creating a water column in the plant. Hence, this pressure itself unlikely to enough for the movement of water and minerals in plants. This pressure is not sufficient to reach the water and minerals and the heights of the trees. Then plants use another strategy to carry or to transport the water and minerals in their body. Even though the plant is constantly absorbing water from its surrounding, but it also loses the water through the process of transpiration. The transpiration process takes place through the stomata of the leaves, and when the water evaporates from the surface of the leaves, it creates a suction force, and this force, transpiration force, absorbs the water or pulls the water in upward direction. During the daytime, and this absorption of water is very much larger than nighttime due to the transpiration process. So transpiration process is very active at daytime. During the night, the root pressure is responsible for the absorption of water and minerals from its surroundings. During daytime, transpiration pull is the most driven force that pulls the water in the upward direction. Transportation of food and other substances in plants. The food that is synthesized where the site of photosynthesis, that is on the leaves, then transferred to the part of the plant where it can be stored, and mainly they are stored in the roots, seeds and the fruits. So the synthesized food then transfer or transport to the location where it can be stored, and this process is known as translocation. Translocation is carried out with the help of seed tubes. Translocation occurs the vascular column of tissue called phloem. Besides the product of photosynthesis, the phloem tissue carries amino acids and other substances. Unlike the transportation in xylem tissues, the translocation or the transportation of substances in phloem tissues carried out by simple forces, and they need energy, and this energy is derived from the ATP molecules which are already synthesized in their leaves, and this increases the osmotic pressure, causing the water move into it, and the pressure created by the water causes the materials to move the cell where it has the less pressure, and then this is transported by cell or by the companion cell where it is mostly required. This is how the transportation process takes place in plants.